What's going on, cyber friends? My name is Schwa, and I'm an artist living in Los Angeles, California. What's up? Welcome to the channel. Let's get down. Today, we are going to be adding digital colors to my octopus. Yes, it's an octopus that rocks. Rocktopus, let's do it. Before we do that, actually, let's just rock out real quick. I think let's just rock out. And there's my dog. He opened the door. Okay, all right, you got it. Oh, come on up. This is why I can't film videos. You see this? You see what's happening? He knows how to open doors. I lock you out. Anyway, let's rock out real quick. Rock out. Yes. That's what's up. Drums are fun. Alright, I'm just gonna play this Rocktopus time lapse here, and we just gonna chill, man. We gonna hang. I'm gonna talk about what I'm doing, and yeah, let's hit it. So here we are. Here's the Rocktopus. We got the line art that I did by basically just finding a couple of cool pictures of octopuses and kind of combining them, and then basically just tracing it over in Procreate. And right here I've got my selector tool out, going super fast. And we're just gonna establish a base coat, and we're getting all these tentacles in here. We're trying to get all the skin of the octopus, and we want to do every single thing that we do on different layers, so then we can later basically change the colors, add shading, add these different clipping masks. We can add like these sparkle effects on top of it. So back to regular speed. Wow. So with the selector tool, you basically just want to go over the entire area that you want to color and then just complete that circle. And this took me forever to figure out. It's just like if you do two fingers, we'll do undo, and then if you do 3 fingers, it will redo. So that took me a minute to figure out. So now I have my base coat down on the rock, and I'm experimenting with a different color like teal. This is like a deep blue teal. I thought looked kind of cool. So now we're going to do the same thing with the inside of the tentacles. We're taking that selector tool, we're going around, and we're just hitting all those different areas, and we're having that on a new layer. Forever, when I first started off using Procreate, I would literally just like try to color everything in, and it took forever because I'd be like going outside the lines. I'll be going outside the lines, I'll be getting frustrated with the eraser tool, and I found that if you just use the selector tool to go over whatever you want to color, and then just color within the line that you just selected, which is real nice. Now I'm just going through the middle of the octopus to give it like some more depth, and I'm adding like a deeper color blue, and I'm just using this video is all about the selector tool and clipping mask, basically are the two main things that I'm doing. And that's pretty much it right there. Next, I'm doing the little suction cups. Again, it's basically I'm repeating the same steps for each different layer of colors that I'm adding. Using the selector tool, going through, hitting the areas, putting them on a different layer, and I'm just speeding through these tentacles real quick. Now I'm taking that lighter color green, and I'm just kind of going over some of the highlights just to make the inner line work start to pop. And I'm using like this light green color, this lime green, which looks kind of tight. And now I'm just gonna hit all the easy parts now that I'm like pretty satisfied with the base color of the octopus. I'm just hitting the rims and I'm hitting the sticks right off the bat. Right here, I'm doing the shells of the drums, and I was trying to go for this like 70s kind of vibe with this like light orange, and I'm gonna do like a deep burst of red to orange. Right here, I'm just using the selector tool and I'm hitting all the cymbals, and I'm just using a base coat, and then later we're gonna shade and try to make them look a little bit more realistic, even though it's like a cartoon kind of comic kind of vibe we're going for here. And right now I'm on another layer using clipping mask. I'm putting this like deep red kind of orange gradient already to our orange drums. So I'm just starting with a real light opacity, and I'm going from dark to light just to give it that kind of that nice fade, that nice gradient. And yeah, it's pretty cool. This is a fun little trick now. So I found like a orange sparkle color, and basically just from Google. And I'm just going through and I'm using a clipping mask on the gradient we just established for the drum shells, and I'm applying this sparkle color over the individual drums and then lowering the opacity. So you still see the orange and red gradient we already created, but it's giving this like cool sparkle effect. And I'm not actually physically drawing it, so it's a nice little like step I didn't have to take by drawing all those individual sparkles. I'm literally just taking a sparkle picture and then clipping mask it over the gradient I just created. And now we're just hitting these cymbals with a little bit of highlight just to make them look more realistic, I guess. And now the dreaded hardware, man. This is what took forever. I'm just gonna go using that selector tool, and I'm hitting all the individual hardware stands, and kind of as I go, I'm testing out some lighter grays to make it more realistic. I'm also I'm using like a reference photo, so I'm constantly going back and forth looking at that, seeing how the light's affecting the metal. And sometimes I'm not even really applying the principles of light, I'm just making it look symmetrical and cool, I guess. So sometimes I won't obey the properties of light, and sometimes I will. So here I'm just going through adding some darker parts, some lighter parts, getting the rubber bottoms of the hardware, using different colored grays, different darkness. Yeah, this process took a long time. A long time. Now I'm hitting the rims. Same thing, selector tool, starting with the base color and then adding these shadows and highlights. Now I'm doing the underside of the drums, and I'm giving it that like kind of fiber skinned, kind of like tannish look, and I'm applying some shadows. So that's just another layer, adding a clipping mask on top of it, and I'm getting those darker shadows underneath the toms, as they naturally would. And now for a little chicken break. Wow, I forgot I put this in there. This is basically what I eat every day, folks. It's a taco-rita, I call it. Chicken, cilantro, onions. And we're back. And now I'm just finishing up the rims of the drums. Flying through this. I'm condensing this whole thing down to 15, trying to do it in 15 minutes, where this probably took 8 or 9 hours to finish the whole thing, and I'm still not that fast yet, so no one wants to sit through a 9-hour video, so this is why everything's sped up. And here you can see me just adding these shadows. This is basically kind of like the final touches on the hardware, just to make everything look more three-dimensional. And now I'm adding my schwa logos. I drew a line in the middle of the bass drum to kind of give it that angle, and then I just lowered the opacity so schwa wasn't so in your face. It was more like subtle, and people would look at it and go, schwa, there he is. Lower the opacity, and that looks pretty good right there. And the same thing I did on the toms, I'm also doing on the Rocktopus. I'm adding like a nice like sparkle kind of effect. Getting blown up in some text messages real quick. Sorry about that. And here you have it, changing the opacities, changing the light. And it adds just like that nice kind of like see-through kind of sparkly effect, like he's mimicking the shells of the drums, which I thought was kind of cute. And now I'm hitting the eyes. Sometimes I do the eyes first, sometimes I do the eyes last, just kind of based on whatever I'm drawing. To finish this off, we are going to do some neon effects. Neon's so cool and easy to do, man. So we're just starting off with these like thicker strips of pink right here. And basically we're going to line those up in the way you want them. And then to create the neon effect, we add a thinner, more vibrant color of the color you want to be glowing inside of those lines. Just like so. Find that vibrant color. Boom. And you want to have that on a separate layer on top of those fatter strips of pink. And if you hold the line down, you're able to adjust that in Procreate, which is really nice. Just like that. And you can move them. So now you have the couple of strips of pink, and we just duplicate those layers right there, and we add some Gaussian blur under that magic wand tab. Last thing you want to do is you're going to put a strip of white through the middle of those vibrant pink strips. Add another layer on top of that. You're duplicating those same white strips, and then you're adding some Gaussian blur. And that's how you achieve that neon effect right there. And to make it pop even more, I think that I took the overall color of the background down just to make those neon lights like a little bit more vibrant. Let's check this out in the end here. And there you have it, the Rocktopus. Yes. All right, everybody, that's it for now. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching. Thanks for liking. Thanks for subscribing. Please do all those things. That would be really nice. Really nice. But anyway, hope y'all are good. Stay tuned for much more art from Schwa, and I'll talk to y'all soon. Peace.
Bye.